Sirius and Orion are the all-new frames, and dare I say, they might be the strongest release we've had in a while. With an all-new 2-in-1 playstyle and with powerful yet complex abilities, there's a lot to learn. In this guide, I'll be showing you everything you need to know about them, from their abilities to how to play them effectively. Let's get into it. You may have a few questions. Are they strong? Are they fun? Are they worth putting the work into? In my opinion, the answer is yes to all three. Sirius and Orion bring a powerful mix of crowd control, survivability, and devastating damage that makes them well suited for almost any mission type. Once you master their unique playstyle, they become an unstoppable force, tearing through the Origin system. The entire point of playing Sirius and Orion is to consistently yet efficiently swap between the two brothers. Each brother has their own health and energy pool while bringing unique strength to the battlefield. Sirius and Orion both have abilities that help them set up and dish out heavy damage. Learning when and how to switch between the two is the key to playing them effectively. Starting with Sirius and Orion's passive, the duo gains 45% ability efficiency on their next two ability casts every time you switch between them. This is a huge part of their kit, as this plays a major role in both your build and your playstyle. You'll want to be swapping between the brothers often to take the full advantage of this bonus. Additionally, if the brother you're controlling drops below 50% energy, they'll begin siphoning energy away from the inactive brother. This helps keep your abilities online and encourages swapping between the two. This trait alone is incredibly powerful, as it allows you to free up mod slots that would normally be dedicated to energy management or efficiency, letting you invest more heavily in other stats instead. Upon activation, Sirius's first ability, Coronal Ejection, he hurls his signature scythe a considerable distance before it returns to him like a boomerang. Along its path, the scythe deals heat damage to enemies and collects nearby drops. This includes resources, health orbs, and energy orbs, pulling them back directly to you. Orion's first ability, Gravitic Slash, is a short-range but wide-area attack that sweeps through enemies with his scythe. It deals slash damage and comes with a base 100% status chance, making it a reliable way to apply a status effect. It also, however, armor strips for a base percentage that increases with ability strength. That's right, you can full armor strip enemies with this ability. As you'll notice throughout their kit, holding the ability key instead of tapping it will swap you to the inactive brother and immediately cast their version of the ability. Both Coronal Ejection and Gravitic Slash also have a powerful interaction with Orion's third ability, which I'll cover later in this guide. On to the second ability, Sirius draws power from his heritage to conjure Jade stars. Upon activation, both Sirius and Orion gain Jade light motes. These motes are consumed whenever you attack and gradually regenerate over the duration of the ability, adding heat damage to your attacks at a base 30% status chance. Orion's second ability, Astral Shell, creates a decoy shell that draws enemy fire away from you until it's destroyed. When it breaks, it releases a small area of effect blast, dealing blast damage to nearby enemies. Again, holding the ability will swap to the inactive brother and use their version of the ability instead. While not the most offensive tool in their kit, it provides a valuable layer of survivability and distraction in tougher fights. Getting into the flashier parts of Sirius and Orion's kit, Sirius creates a large area of effect that heals allies, revives down teammates, and provides damage reduction that increases in strength and size over time. Orion's third ability, Event Horizon, creates a black hole that travels forward, pulling and ragdolling enemies in its path. When it expires, it detonates, dealing a strong burst of heat damage. Now here's where the synergy gets really interesting. Sirius's Coronal Ejection can pull the black hole towards you, while Orion's Gravitic Slash pushes it away. In other words, you can literally tug of war a black hole between the two brothers. Each push or pull interaction increases the black hole's duration. Honestly, this is one of my favorite interactions in their kit. You're basically sweeping the battlefield while the two brothers fight over a literal black hole. It really reinforces the rivalry and makes them feel unique and dynamic. Now for the big, flashy, and powerful ultimate, Celestial Crash. Before we get into the ability itself, you may have noticed the constellation located above your abilities. As you cast abilities with either brother, this constellation begins to fill. However, you can only add 2 charges from the same brother in a row, once again reinforcing the constant switching playstyle that Sirius and Orion are built around. Upon activation, you'll take to the skies and be prompted to either left click or right click depending on which brother is currently represented in the constellation. The two brothers then then begin clashing with one another, just like we've seen in the trailer, creating massive bursts of blast damage around them. Successfully matching the correct input for each clash increases the ability's critical chance. Yes, you heard that right. This ability can crit. Each successful clash grants additional critical chance, culminating in a guaranteed red crit on the final strike. This dramatically increases the damage output and turns an already powerful ability into a devastating nuke. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest abilities we've seen in recent Warframe releases. The idea of the brothers battling each other while simultaneously obliterating everything around them is just incredibly fun, both visually and mechanically. There are a couple of additional things worth noting. The damage is affected by line of sight, so you won't be deleting enemies through walls. You can also freely fly and dash around while the ability is active at no additional energy cost. From my testing, there doesn't appear to be a strict time limit either, making Celestial Crash surprisingly useful as a mobility tool in addition to its incredible damage output. Before we get into the build guide, I'd like to quickly cover Sirius and Orion's strengths, along with a few things to keep in mind. Personally, I don't think this frame has any major weaknesses, just a few caveats. To start, Sirius and Orion have an incredibly versatile kit, as you'd expect from a 2-in-1 frame. They bring strong survivability, excellent crowd control, plentiful status application, and a unique playstyle that stands out from the rest of the roster. That said, most of their drawbacks come from their complexity. The way you play them can make a huge difference in how effective they feel. They're not a frame that you can simply sit back and play with a single ability rotation. To get the most out of their kit, you'll need to actively swap between the brothers and make use of their synergies. This can feel a little overwhelming at first, especially if you're new to more active Warframes. However, once everything starts to click, the frame becomes incredibly rewarding to play. And don't worry, later in this guide I'll show you exactly how I approach playing them. If you want to get the most out of Sirius and Orion's kit, I recommend running similar builds on both brothers, prioritizing strength first, followed by range, duration, and finally efficiency. Trying to specialize each brother too heavily can lead to an inconsistent gameplay experience. Since you'll be swapping between them constantly, having both brothers benefit from the same core stats makes their kit feel much smoother and more reliable. Strength is by far the most important stat, as it improves the damage, status application, survivability, and utility across almost their entire kit. Range helps their crowd control and area of effect abilities reach more enemies, while duration improves the uptime and effectiveness of many of their strongest tools. As for efficiency, I don't prioritize it nearly as much. Sirius and Orion's passive provides a significant amount of ability efficiency as long as you're actively swapping between the brothers, allowing you to invest more heavily into other stats without running into major energy issues. To put it simply, the key to maximizing Sirius and Orion's effectiveness is to swap between the brothers every 1 to 2 ability casts. This allows you to consistently benefit from their passive and keep your energy economy running smoothly. Beyond that, they're surprisingly straightforward to play. Use Sirius's Jade stars or Orion's Gravitic slash to begin engagement, then follow up with abilities like Coronal, Ejection, or Event Horizon to control and clear the battlefield. Don't be afraid to make use of their survivability tools whenever the situation calls for them. As you continue fighting, you'll naturally build up your constellation. Once it's full, make sure to use Celestial Crash. Since it has no cooldown, there's very little reason to hold onto it for long. Mix all of this with your preferred weapons and playstyle, and you'll quickly see why Sirius and Orion are so powerful. And that's really the beauty of this frame. You don't need to memorize some complicated 10-step combo to be effective. As long as you're consistently swapping between the brothers and making use of their abilities, you'll be getting the most out of their kit. And that's everything you need to know about Sirius and Orion. Hopefully this guide helped you understand their abilities, how to build them, and how to get the most out of their unique playstyle. If you're getting ready to enter the Steel Path, or you've just started tackling it and aren't sure where to begin, you're in luck. My next guide will be focused on exactly that. As someone who recently made the jump into Steel Path myself, I think I can offer a fresh perspective on the experience in 2026. And hopefully make the journey a little easier for the newer players. If you'd like to see that, consider subscribing so you don't miss it, and if you found this guide helpful, a like is always appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you especially for helping me reach 65 subscribers. Every view, like, comment, and subscription means a lot to me, and I'm incredibly grateful for all the support. With that said, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!